Genesis chapter 12, verses 1 through 6. Listen to the word of God. The Lord had said to Abram, "Leave your countryside, your people, and your father's household, and go to the land I will show you. I will make you a great nation, and I will bless you, and I will make your name great, and you will be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and whoever curses you I will curse. And all the peoples of the earth will be blessed through you." So Abraham left as the Lord had told him, and Lot went with him. Abraham was 75 years old when he set out from Haran. He took his wife Sarah, his nephew Lot, all the possessions that he accumulated, and the people they acquired in Haran, and they set out for the land of Canaan, and they arrived. Abraham traveled through the land as far as the site of the great tree of Borror at Shechem, and at that time the Canaanites were in the land. May God bless the hearing and reading of his word. Our gospel text is from Matthew chapter 5, 1 through 11. Listen to the word of God. While the people pressed upon him to hear the word of God, he was standing by the lake of Gennesaret, which is Galilee. And he saw two boats by the lake. But the fishermen had gone out to them and were washing their nets. Getting to one of the boats, which was Simon's, he asked him to put out a little from the land, and he sat down and taught the people from the boat. And when he had ceased speaking, he said to Simon, "Put out into the deep, and let down your nets for a catch." And Simon answered, "Master, we have toiled all night and took nothing. But at your word I will let down the nets." And when they had done this, they enclosed a great shoal of fish, and their nets were breaking. They beckoned to their partners in the other boat to come and help them. And they came, and they filled both boats so that they began to sink. And when Simon Peter saw it, he fell down at Jesus' knees and said, "Depart from me, for I am a sinful man, O Lord." For he was astonished, and all that were with him at the catch of fish which they had taken. And so also James and John, the sons of Zebedee, who were partners with Simon. And Jesus said to Simon, "Do not be afraid. Henceforth you will be catching men." And when they had brought their boats to land, they left everything and followed him. May God bless the hearing and the reading of his holy word. Let us pray. Lord, in the midst of many words that are both within and without, we ask that you, the living word, will encounter us this day. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Well, the grandfather that I was talking about with the kids was my maternal grandfather, Virgil William Sherrill, named after him. He spent his whole life in West Virginia. He grew up in the country, really in the woods. From the time he was walking through the woods and following the streams. He was always his happiest and most, I think, in his element when he was out in the woods or by the water. And I spent a lot of time with my grandparents as a child. It was a great opportunity to do that. And I loved to go with him. But it was always a little frightening to be Granddad Sherrill. Because he was a crusty old guy. He was funny, but a little edgy. And he used to say to me, "Now, Bill, if you don't keep up with me, I'm going to leave you out here." Now, I was 75% sure he was kidding. All right? But that 25% of uncertainty made me stay on the back of his heels. All right? And of course, if you're following someone close through the woods, what happens if you're right behind him? I get hit with branches and I get knocked over, but I would not lose sight of the back of my grandfather. Matter of fact, one time he would say, "Bill, why are you so close to me?" And I said, "I don't want you to leave me, Granddad." And he laughed and said, "I'm not going to leave you." And I have those great memories of just following him through the woods. Not knowing where we were going, but knowing that it was okay because I was with him. It's an amazing scene by the Sea of Galilee. Simon and his partners are cleaning their nets from a night of fishing. that we find out was an unsuccessful night of fishing. And suddenly they see a crowd coming kind of towards the edge of the water, and there is a man who seems to be either leading or being pushed by the crowd. And it turns out to be this is Jesus. And I think if these hard-working guys are looking up, it's kind of funny to see this young preacher trying to navigate and negotiate this crowd and keeps pushing him. Matter of fact, they're so much pressing him that he is almost being pushed in the lake. I can imagine. I worked construction during my way through college, and we used to, divert ourselves by watching what was going on around us. And if I was up on a roof or something, and something like this was happening, I would elbow the guy I was working with, and we'd watch it because it was funny to watch this guy being pushed into the water. But I can imagine Jesus wasn't flustered. He said to Peter and the boys, "Can I use your boat?" And I can see them smiling, maybe even smirking. Sure, preacher, go ahead, use our boat. And so they probably continue cleaning. Maybe they're listening, maybe not listening, half listening, whatever. And even if they're half listening, they'd have to be semi-impressed with what they were hearing. This was a different kind of preacher, a different kind of religious guys, a different kind of rabbi. I also have to be thinking in the back of their mind they're distracted by the failure of the night. Now, we don't know if this was only one failure. Maybe this was a setback in the many setbacks. But any of you that have worked hard at something and come up empty, there's a kind of a particular feeling of fatigue that comes with that, isn't there? We're working, we're trying to make a living for our family, we're trying to make this thing work, trying to work on our church, and you know what? It just hasn't seemed to work out. I'm tired. I just want to go home. If I was Peter, I just want to go home, eat some breakfast, and sleep. But Jesus says, why don't you guys try again? Now, there are about 3 or 4 reasons why you should say no to Jesus, all right? You can come up with them, all right? First of all, I might say, why don't you stick to carpentry and preaching? Okay? I'm a fisherman, you're not. It could be, we've already tried. We've already tried everything we possibly could try. There's no way you have any new ideas to help us. The nets are clean. Okay, I just want to go home. I'm tired. You could probably come up with some reasons on your own why you should not listen to Jesus in this situation. Life is exhausting. Church and the faith can be exhausting as well. And sometimes we try to take shortcuts. Sometimes we try to work harder. Sometimes we get excited about something new, a new vision, a new program, a new way of looking at something. Okay? But none of these things seem to be long-term solutions. So we are fatigued. We're demoralized, pessimistic about the future. And the thing about when we have these kind of fatigues in life, it reminds us of our mortality. I remember having to do a whole roof over. By the way, when I was working carpentry in college, my boss one time said to me, "Bill, are your grades good in college?" I go, "Yeah." All right, why? He says, "Because you have no future in this business, son." So I spent a lot of time doing things over as a carpenter. And there's nothing more frustrating than to work so hard at something for it just not to work out. And it reminds us of our limitations of our mortality. We're coming up on the 500th anniversary of Martin Luther's nailing 95 Theses on the Wittenberg Chapel door, which many people, well, not many people, but it's traditionally come to be seen as the beginning of the Reformation, the Protestant Reformation. And I was recently interviewed, and someone asked me what I thought about the call for new Reformation. frankly, that's the least of the church's concerns right now. What kind of reform do we need? And who gets to be in charge of that reform? For me, we don't need a reform. We need to live out the transformed life that comes from following Jesus by the grace of God. One of my favorite writers right now is a person who became a priest during communist reign in Czechoslovakia. It was Czechoslovakia then, and he was an underground priest, but he's a professor and a chaplain in the Czech Republic. And he says this, his name is Thomas Hoppe. Christian faith, unlike natural religiosity and happy-go-lucky religiosity, is a resurrected faith that has to die on the cross to be buried and rise again in a new form. This faith is a process, and it is possible for people to find themselves at different phases of this process at different moments of their lives. I've often heard the ironic comment that faith is simply a crutch to help those who are weak and lame, whereas the strong have no need of it. It is not a crutch, but it might be compared to a pilgrim staff that assists us on our journey through life. We don't need reformation. We need resurrection. We are people of the resurrection. So it's not a matter of new programs. It's not a matter of trying harder. It's a matter of living into the faith we have in Jesus Christ by the power and grace of God. Anyway, so for whatever reason, when Jesus says to Peter, try one more time, I can just hear Peter mumbling under his breath. But maybe it was something about what he had to say. Maybe it was something about how he asked. Maybe it was because there was something about this guy that was different. And Peter said, okay, let's try again. And you can almost hear the brothers Zebedee groaning in the background. Anyway, well, you know what happens. Not only do they catch fish, they catch so many fish that the nets are breaking and the boat is starting to sink. What's interesting, they have a new problem, right? They get the miracle, but they have a new problem. I one time was hired by a church, in part because I built youth programs, and after the first fall, the church was full of high school kids. But then I had a group of committee come to me and said, we're nervous about all these high school kids being in their church. So they thought they wanted kids in the church, but once we got the kids, we didn't get the right kind of kids for them, and they got nervous. There is a story of the great revivals that were going on in the middle of the 18th century in New England and New York. And there was a Dutch Reformed pastor in New Jersey who was quoted as praying this: Lord, give us revival, but don't give it like we have in New York. In other words, we need a milder kind of revival. Scarcity has its problems, but abundance has its problems as well. In other words, I one time was talking to a person, and they were saying that, every job I go to, I have this problem. In every relationship I'm in, I have these problems. And I finally said to the person, well, what's the one thing that's consistent in all those situations? And they looked at me, are you saying it's me? Maybe it's you, I don't know. But you might want to think about that. You see, sometimes we think the external issues in our lives are what the issue is. Because we're creatures, right? We're animals, as well as spiritual beings, right? So it matters what the temperature is. It matters if I'm hungry. It matters if I'm cold or hot. It's hard to say a prayer when you have a migraine headache, or your arthritic back is bothering you, right? So we're creaturely people, and so we're very conditioned by the externals. But it's important to realize that Peter had a problem when there was no fish. Peter had even more problems when there were too many fish. And so part of what the answer is, in terms of, as Christians, we need to realize that regardless of what's going on outside of us, regardless of what's going on in the visible expressions of our life in our church, it's what inwardly guides us and drives us. That is where the center needs to be, and that center needs to be in Jesus Christ alone. Now, I love Peter's response. You know, sometimes Peter gets a bad rep in the Bible. But I like Peter sins boldly. It's a good Luther quote. Sin boldly. And Peter blurts it out, and sometimes you wish he hadn't said it. But in this instance, he knows something. Because suddenly he realizes this is not an ordinary person. But I know what I am, and I have no business being in the same boat or in the same room or maybe in the same world with you, Jesus. Get away from me. I love the old King James Version. Depart from me, because I'm a man of unclean lips. In other words, leave me alone. I'm a filthy mouthed sailor, Jesus. You don't know the things I've done. And so Jesus says to him, okay, what you need to do is go clean up your act, be a good person, and maybe come talk to me in 5 years. Is that what Jesus says? No, because Jesus doesn't like you and me. Jesus isn't like the way most of us are who are religious people. Peter says, I'm a foul-mouthed sailor, and I've done horrible things. And Jesus goes, you're just the kind of guy I'm looking for. This is the kind of thing, you are the kind of people I'm going to build my new kingdom with. You know, I think the very kind of thing that makes us alive in Christ the first time is the same truth throughout our life. In other words, the realization that I am someone who needs the grace of God. We never grow apart from that. What is the best that Crossroads Church can be? A group of people who know that by the grace of God, they're saved and loved by God. And therefore, they get to share that good news and that love with their community. That's it. That's the best, and that's really the heart of what we have to be. And I love that he says to him, and I was always taught this, I think, wrong. You know, I grew up in kind of Methodist revivalist circles, and so this story was always said, now you have to go out and catch people. Well, now, the job of you is not to go out there and try to catch people and reel them into the church. I know that obviously one of the things that you're really concerned about is where are we going as a church? What is our future? And trust me, there are thousands of programs out there for the last 40, 50 years have tried to sell churches. How do you grow? How do you bring people in? And I'm not saying they're all good. I'm not saying they're all good. They may not all be bad. But Jesus isn't saying, now you got to go catch people. He's saying your business was finished. Okay? Now your business is people like mine. What we as a church need to be is a reflection of Jesus' heart and love for the world. We are in the business of loving this world and caring about God's children. Both the ones who have found their way home, the ones who haven't gotten home, like the prodigal son, and maybe the ones who are at home, like the older brother, and are still grumpy and don't really understand what it means to be part of the family of God. But as a church, we are to follow Christ by doing his work. And his work is the love and salvation of the world. And so they drop everything. They drop everything. It's pretty remarkable. They drop everything and they start following Jesus. Now, I have to think, maybe an hour later, maybe it wasn't until nighttime, they're walking and Jesus is in front of them and someone starts saying, do you have any idea what it means to be a fisher of men? someone said, maybe we should have asked him what that is before we started walking. And maybe one of the other guys goes, by the way, did he say where we're going? You think, we're just following this guy we met today, but we have no idea where we're going. By the way, did Jesus tell them where they were going? No. What's the only thing that Jesus offered that day? A new profession, okay? A new way of living your life. You're no longer working for fish, you're working for me. And we're going to go catch people, whatever that means. But he offered them himself. Matter of fact, the only thing they needed to know, and frankly, the only thing we need to know is, I'm going to trust that Jesus knows where he's taking me. We may be hit in the face with some bushes. We may fall and roll down the hill like I did one time, to the great joy of my grandfather. But we need to trust that who we love and who we've given our life to knows where he's going. And not only knows where he's going, but more importantly, knows where you need to be going. Fast forward from the little boy following my grandfather to I'm a young man in my early 20s, and my grandfather has a heart attack. And I'm the first person who can get back up. So I get to his hospital room down in West Virginia. And I walk into his hospital room, and for the first time in my life, I saw fear in his face. And I said, Granddad, how are you? And he goes, I'm so sick, I'd have to get better to die. She still hadn't lost the sense of humor. He was scared. And it's a long story, but my grandfather had been bitter towards the church for 50 years and hadn't set foot in church except for weddings and funerals for 50 years. And he said, I don't know what's going to happen to me. And I remember saying to him, Granddad, maybe it's time for you to stop fighting God. It might be a good time to let him love you. And the man who led me through the woods so I could find my way back home was able to find his way back home and find peace with God. I don't know, I have no idea where you're going to go as a congregation. I'm excited and I'm happy and I feel blessed to be part of this journey, this new journey with you. But I do know this, that we should follow the one who died for us, the one who loves us. That we should follow together the one who will ultimately bring us home. And I believe that if we say yes to that journey, we will find more than what we need, not only as a congregation, but as individuals who are children and redeemed children of the living God. In the name of the Father, and Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Let us stand and sing.